I am Shara Ogin, and I'm an intuitive coach, and I help women to gain clarity about what they're quote unquote supposed to be doing in this lifetime and to find more fulfillment and joy in their career and in their lives. So, thank you all for joining me here today. And I'm going to actually refrain from telling my personal story in order to just have more time here for all of you today. And I want to, in just a moment here, dive into clearing, just a group healing that I'm going to channel. So I'm just going to read the energy, and then we'll have time for a few one-on-one readings. There was actually more people that showed up today than I was actually expecting. Let's go ahead and dive in, and thank you for your help with this, Helen. Everybody go ahead and shut your eyes and bring your energy from the outside into your body. Imagine it like a streamer, like a golden stream coming from your crown and the outside into your body. And let this energy go down your grounding cord. And have it go down your legs and down your feet. The energy's been really raising up to our heads, like anxieties and worries. So one of the antidotes for that is to connect with the soles of our feet and to wiggle your toes for a moment. And then just allow your feet to relax onto the ground and bring your attention down. Let's all together take a collective breath. Inhale and exhale. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set up the energy of a circle, a field that we're all in. So you might feel, especially if you could ground yourself in a quiet space, a supportive energy that we're creating around us. And I always set the intention to bring in a loving, supportive vibe. Just those are the people that show up here on the calls. So if you feel depleted right now, then it's okay. Just see if you could let in some of the love and some of the supportive energy that's around you right now. Great. And now go ahead and bring your attention inward once again. So I made the theme today, staying sound, staying peace in the midst of the storm. And this is because there is so much change, so much of the unusual going on right now for everybody. It's a collective field right now that's happening. So you might know more than a handful of people right now in your life that are, well, like me, I just literally moved to Colorado from the Bay Area, or going through a breakup, or going through a career change, or going through some difficulties with their fertility, or really, I'd say the main vibration I am sensing and I'm picking up on is uncertainty around career and personal fulfillment kind of topics. Like you might be in a job, but it's finding, that your joy for life, finding your yes, finding your place that you want to lean into. And so this brings me to the visual of finding balance. So upon that note, let's make sure our head is balanced on top of our pelvis, on top of our tailbone. And exhale. We're definitely inhaling more than we're exhaling as a group. So let's go ahead and put more emphasis on the exhale. If you find yourself like leaning forward, this is both energetically and physically throughout your day, just take it upon yourself right now to come back into your center. And we'll take a few more collective breaths. And on the exhale, I want you to exhale and release anything you're holding onto right now. Anything you were worrying or holding onto before this call, just let it all go. And the next time you inhale, raise your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, let them drop down to the earth. Drop down. We'll do it again. Inhale, raise your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, let it drop down towards your feet. And now bring yourself into a place of stillness. See if there's any muscles you're holding onto, you could let go of just a little bit more. Allow your bottom jaw to part from the top. And see if you could quiet your mind and be in the now just a little bit more. Feel the breath come in and feel it go out. Feel it come in and exhale, release it back out. Quiet your space. And I'm sending an array of hope into everybody's heart right now. I have a sneaky feeling this is why a lot of you are here. And also, I want to just really appreciate you because you're all leading into your spirituality a little bit more. You're going deeper into the self and looking for answers to questions that maybe you've never really asked or put too much thought into. Now you're putting deeper thought into. And it looks like most of the people here, not everybody, but 85 to 90% of you are without children. And so some of you have that, it's either an empty nest feeling or wanting to step into that. There's just some uterus kind of energy going on here. And that's fine. What I really hope to leave you here with today is acceptance of your process. Acceptance of your current state that you're in right now and the state of the world around you. Because the more that we're able to bring ourselves into the vibration of the current tides of the planet, the more okay we will be with ourselves and where we're at. And the more acceptance we'll have of those people around us. And especially more acceptance of ourselves. This is what we want. Your insights are really growing on a spiritual level, like a higher level of consciousness. Every single person on this call, I can feel it unanimously here. And now I'm sending into all of your hearts the energy of you could do it. There might be something holding you back, and hopefully on this call we can clear some of that and set you more on the path of walking in that direction. And as I say that, I see many of you are unclear what that direction is, and that's okay too. I'll also put in the ingredient of clarity, the intention of clarity for this call. So go ahead and set the intention for yourself about what you wish to leave this hour with. And bring that energy into yourself. Like whether it's clarity or more internal freedom or some inner peace or answers. And then when you're ready, you could go ahead and open up your eyes. See if you feel more present, more here in the now. Look around this beautiful gallery. I'm going to put it on gallery mode so I could see all the beautiful faces here. Wonderful. Okay. So the way that we're going to do the next section is this is where I'm going to give a few one-on-one readings, and I'm going to set the intention to call on the people who it's sort of like paper dolls cut out, where I'll send the healing specifically to one person, and that's going to ripple out to other people on this call because these calls always have a synchronicity kind of flow that as I'm speaking to her, I'm actually speaking to all the other paper dolls, all the other people who are here on this call, setting the intention to send healing to everybody. Because as a law of attraction states, you can't be in a field with another unless there's a like vibration going on. The same is true for my own healing. You're here because you're here to bring me healing too. So whatever information I see, there might be a clue here for myself as well. So let's kind of, put that intention or that thought form into our mind. And now think about if you really want to ask me a question, because I'll only have time for probably 4 people. I don't do like crystal ball readings, like as in telling the future, but I can help you to clear the blocks and help you to change your vibration of the things that are standing in the way of you having what you want, and then to help you to walk on that path in that direction. Okay, so it's easier if I pick on people. I'm going to actually first, at least the first 2 people, pick on people who have their videos showing so I could actually see you, because then when I see your expression, that kind of helps me to know where you're at, even though I'm mainly going to feel it in the energy field. So the way this is going to go is I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to put out my reading screen, and I'm going to call in. I'm doing this right now. I'm calling in my guides and helpers, and I'm calling in your guides and helpers, or anyone who will be most advantageous to us getting the information that's in our highest light and to provide healing for all on this call. So if I call on you, please keep your eyes open and your posture open, like arms and legs open. And, just let everything I say like move through you, like, take it with a grain of salt, anything I say, but also to be open to whatever I may say. So somebody who feels ready to hear the information. So can I see a show of hands? Who feels ready to ask me a question and receive some guidance and healing? Okay, let's go to Teresa. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Teresa.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for being the first volunteer.
Thank
Okay, so I'm going to
you.
shut my eyes. If I have permission to look at your energy, please say, I accept this healing.
I accept this healing.
Okay, what can I most help you with today?
My question would be in regards to on my spiritual path, my career, and utilizing my gifts.
Okay, so what's your career right now?
I am in the law field, a
Mm,
legal assistant.
mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. That first of all, you have such a huge heart, and your energy is really big, but big in a good way. Now you're really using it in a powerful, supporting, maternal, loving way. And I really want you. I secretly really want you to bring more of that energy out into the world, because you are a gift giver. You like to do. Looks like one of your love languages is acts of kindness. And when somebody gives you an assignment, you get it done. You're dedicated, you're devoted, you're all in. Some of the costs of that to you is at the end of the day, you may have said this phrase, I'm not giving enough to myself. I'm giving it all away to others. And so this is the part that we want to, like, maybe if, you and I ever do a longer session, kind of like find a way to kind of iron that out a little bit, because this is affecting you at your 5th chakra, your throat. And I know there's many other people on this call I'm speaking to around that. And this is why I bring up the topic of balance. And so it's the balance of, ideally, we want it when we're giving to be receiving at the same time, such as my work in my field. That's what I feel like I'm doing all the time. I become a better person the more I'm giving. You can give to, I mean, I'm not saying you have like 9 children, but you're the kind of person that could, or that would, or is like, if anybody is like, okay, who could help me with this, you're like the first to volunteer and offer. Because I don't know if this is like either spiritual or religious motivation, but you've actually just like given yourself to some higher power to use you as you need. And so you have a very humbled cause in that regard. It looks like with the legal firm, what's happening is, first of all, it's very in the head, and you're really getting to a place where you want to be more in the heart and have compassionate, compassionate understanding for even your coworkers. Like, you really see people and like a humanitarian way. And it looks like some people might in your office and some people less so. But also, it's kind of like actually, you don't mind being behind the scenes. You're not like, I want to be a YouTube star. Being behind the scenes is fine for you, but it looks like you want to help in a bigger way, which you kind of alluded to already. Maybe towards some causes that you feel stronger about. But I literally see you, well, let's just say using that maternal sense in a broader way. My mind just went to like many different options. Like I'm about to say are quite it, but I see you kind of like women issues. And it's like basically helping people to rise up in a very maternal way. Like not necessarily like having a lot of kids to do it, but having that energy where you're the mother in that scenario. And it's a very heart-based, compassionate environment. Do you have any follow-up questions about that?
Know that I I just know I'm called to do more and
Hmm.
just give and
Hmm.
help.
You are so right on. And as you're on that journey, try to find a way where you could feel more replenished at the day's end. You know what I mean? One of the tips that just came up for me is think less. Because sometimes we think a lot, like in general, this is going on with a lot of people, and this actually takes up a lot of time and space. And at the same time, you are doing. So it's like finding that balance. Maybe it looks more like a little bit more reflective time. And it looks like you're there at the pool. So I guess you're doing that right now.
At the beach bay. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So you're already putting my advice in action there. So yeah, just something around this fifth chakra, the throat, the voice. What this means, and this is a lot of women right now, fifth chakra stuff. This is like putting so much effort, so much of yourself into something, and all for good reason. But there might be a way we could do it with conserving our energy more, but staying with the same intention and outcome. Okay. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you so much for going first.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Okay. Let's just go ahead and send Teresa off with love. Everybody go ahead and send her some love. Thank you. All right. I'll clear out of my space. All right. So I'll put it on gallery view and see who wants to go next. Okay. So I'm going to again pick somebody who's got their video on. Let me see your hands, please. If I have permission to look at your energy, please say, I accept this healing.
I accept this healing.
Okay, and what can I help you as far as guidance, clearing? Mm,
I'd
how can
really
I help
like
you?
clarity in terms of like my love life and what that path kind of looks like. And I feel like I've really lost like hopefulness for that piece of my life. And if you have any advice on how to like become more open or more hopeful, that would be deeply appreciated.
Okay, great. Great question. Thank you for asking that. I'm sure that pertains to many other people on this call. So, with this kind of question, I like to look at what are the blocks and what's holding you back in the area of love. Okay, is that okay if I phrase it that way? All right. So, I'm just gonna look at your name and let me just look at your energy for a moment. Okay. The first thing I see is your father like being in the way. Is really bringing your energy to your head about like, there's a lot of supposed to's. Like, I'm supposed to be doing something. It's like, you actually sound a lot like me. I was trying to figure out how to fall in love through my head. Like, this is like, there's this whole big rule book about this is what you do when this happens. This is what you do when he calls you back. This is the way you should be. So, your first homework assignment, and anybody else who resonates with this one, this is your homework assignment, is to get out a piece of paper and say, I should blank, and make a whole page of I should blank. And I want you to get into the subconscious messages that are going on behind the scenes. Like, um, first will be the conscious few shoulds, but then go deeper than that. Go deeper into the ones that are lurking in the background that you don't even know about. Okay, so that's the first one. Let me look at what the other blocks are. Hmm. Okay, so it's interesting as sometimes So I have clairaudience. So I see pictures and then I interpret them. I mean, clairaudience, that's hearing. I hear words, but clair, clairvoyance is seeing. What I just saw was this circle being drawn around you. And this is something I'm seeing with many people. I mean, pretty much anybody who works with me, there's a circle of isolation. This is what's going on with you right now. And it's, well, rather than thinking about this as a bad thing, I'm starting to think about this as a good thing because this is really your time to go deeper into you. I know it sounds like probably the worst thing you want to hear right now. And this is where your energy is right now. And this is not only with men, this is with, let me see if this is true before I say it. Yeah, it does look like just people in general. You know, maybe you're kind of like oil and water more with certain people or having a deeper time connecting with people. I'm hearing this all the time with people who are coming to work with me. And this is just because you're ready to, okay. So when you stop trying to like figure out what's wrong or what's wrong with me or trying to hyper-analyze like a situation that maybe went a little awry, and this just be like, this is the time and the space that's meant for me, and just really get into your own superpowers and your own empowerment. This is the time for you right now. Okay. I'm not saying you can't be on dating sites, going out with your girlfriends, you know, it's okay if that happens, but mostly this is time for sacred time for you. So this is the best time for you to cultivate in that direction, a spiritual practice, whatever that could look like for you. You know, there's many ways to do that. But I also have this vision right now of you journaling. So writing down some of your information. Why don't you ask me a follow-up question right now? This would be a good time for me to pause.
In terms of what would
Anything I've said or anything you want to know?
I guess in terms of the homework assignment, when I'm doing the should statements, are those more like I should be, is that pertaining to
Oh,
dating?
okay. That's a great question. This is a great question for everybody. Yeah, we'll start off there and then just expand it to your whole life.
Okay.
So I should be on dating sites, for instance. I should be going out of my house more. Set a timer for like 10 minutes, and this is for everybody, and just keep letting the pen go and write itself. And you could let the shoulds go to like every area of your life. And I'll tell you, one of the things I would encourage you to bring more into your life along with other people is fun. And that place of, and I'm going to actually suggest this to Teresa after this call. See if you could like literally just walk on the beach and be in me land, like breathing in the air and feeling the sand under your feet and just being like, you know, right now I don't need anything. I just want to like, you know, take in the air and just feel really good in your own space and own body. So this is being in the now. And laughter is really good. I know it's like, how do I laugh if I'm not actually interacting with people? We'll see. I can make myself laugh, evidently. Have a like put in spurts of that, whether it's actually watching a funny movie. And as I say that, I actually see dramas working good for you right now, like going into that deep space. And actually, a good cry would be good for you because I am sure that doesn't happen very often. And so it's kind of like breaking down the shell that's right here and getting into like some vulnerable places and being like, I'm going in here, you know, like, you know, if you need support around that, I could go in with you. And so you want to explore more of the variance of those emotions that maybe you've been kind of putting a coat around. And this is father energy. So I'm going to actually go right into healing right now. And I just want to release your father's energy. And as I'm doing this, I'm releasing it for many, many, many people on this call right now. So everybody just shut your eyes and experience this as I release your father's energy. Now let's see it floating away off into the ethers. It's just nobody's energy should be on you this closely unless you have a child that's under the age of 5. Okay. And then everybody call back in your own energy through the crown of your head and bring in your own vital force, your own energy into every cell of your body. Because I actually just see right now, Maria, this should that just came up that I should just be alone for my lifetime. And I see this big question mark. And you know what? I don't agree with that. I think you will be in partnership, but I think right now it's okay for you to be right now single, and that's okay to be in this space. I literally see this like circle. It's like a fire pit, and like with ashes, the circle is made around it. And just proclaim inside yourself, like, this is where I am, and I'm okay being here. See whatever you could do to bring yourself into okayness and acceptance with this being in this space. And I promise you, it won't be forever for anybody who's taking my advice here. It'll be a varying length of time for different people, but this is where I needed to go, into that place where I could accept my loneliness and my all my traits I deemed as undesirable. And I had to go into that space and learn to accept and love those spaces before I could call in true love. And I'm going to end with sending some energy into your heart. Just receive it. And underneath that is sadness. So we need to find some way to penetrate into that sadness. It's isolation. And I'm gonna stop there instead of going too deep, but I'm gonna actually end with giving you a big ethereal hug, like as if I was maternal energy and you could just rest here, because I feel like we all kind of need this, especially during these hard times. I know I did it when I was on my healing journey. So I'm sending in the energy of it's going to be okay. Just breathe it in and feel it for a moment. And then exhale and release. And let's all on this group send Maria off with love and gratitude for being the second victim on the call. I'm just kidding. So sending you love and gratitude for being so vulnerable and open here on this call. So I'm unable to see the information if you're unwilling to show it, and you are very willing. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing the work.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to answer Katia's question that she asked me in chat, and she asked me about if nobody's energy should be so close to you unless you have a child under the age of 5. And actually, let me think about that for a second. Okay, well, let's put it this way. When I do energy healings, it's usually inappropriate for anybody to be inside of your field, except for an infant, a young infant. However, there are moments when somebody does come in your field and it's okay, such as if you have a new love. Let me just look at that. Yeah, if you have a new love and you invite them in, and there is an appropriate time to call this person in. But then when that dynamic is complete and say you go off to your work day, then you want to, that you want to have them outside, even though you could still think about them. It's just important for them to go off into their life and not to be merging too much into somebody else's field, because this could be disruptive. This could be disruptive in your inability to get your own information, and instead it could be convoluted with somebody else's information. And if it's like a superior in any way, like a parent or somebody who's older than you, then you may be smaller in that regards. And so and the opposite is true as well. Like if it's a child and you're the parent, and the child's energy that's older than an infant is in your field, then that could be discombobulating energy. Like it could be anger, or it could be worry. And so lots of times we have those lower vibration emotions, and they're attached to a person, or perhaps a person has those energy like anger towards us, and we can't quite clear that. And so it's because we're calling their energy unintentionally into our field, into our space, too close. In any of those situations, it's important to clear them outside of our space, outside of our aura, and update the agreement and update the dynamic, the contract between you and that person. Okay, so I would say only for a very short temporary time, when it's intentional, is it okay to bring a person into our personal space. So let me know if you have any follow-up questions, anybody, in regards to that. She just said, thank you. So yeah, so this is a lot of the work I do when I work with people is there's always people who are, like our coworker or our husband or, that's throwing us off and that we could actually be at our higher vibration if it was otherwise. Like if we were, so a lot of the work I do is updating agreements and contracts and setting the relationship with that other person right so that I mean right according to us, but I'd say right according to the divine guidance. And if the other person is not in agreement with the contract, it's unable to be signed. So it's basically on both sides. And then people often ask me, well, if that is the case, then is the other person experiencing the healing true? And I absolutely 100% of the time would say yes. It's almost all the time after I do that kind of healing work with somebody, a person will report back to me that there was a shift in the dynamic on the other person's side as well. Okay, so we have time for one more person. Let me go ahead and put on a gallery view so I can take a look. All right, who's got a burner dying to go? All right, let's go to Megan. Okay, so go ahead and
Good. I've been struggling to keep my head above water lately. I've lost my job. I've lost a couple friends. I'm dealing with thyroid issues and a lot of negativity.
Mhm. Okay. Oh, and if I have permission to read your energy, please say I accept this healing.
I accept this healing.
Okay, so good. This is a good question. I'm glad we touched on these topics because this really pertains to a lot of the ladies on this call. First of all, thyroid is really on the upswing, and I wrote a book where I outlined 150 diagnoses, and thyroid is, effort, struggling, pushing yourself to be more than you are. Those kind of things are like effort.
I
The
haven't
fifth chakra.
been the same since I had my thyroid out. I just am not myself and I'm not acting right. And it's hard. I'm fighting myself all the time because your thyroid takes over your body. And I don't want the thyroid to take over. I want to have control. And I don't have control and I can't seem to let that go.
And when did you get it removed?
2018.
Okay. Okay. Well, when I look at that, it looks like there's a part of your identity that got removed from it. Because I see this image of you kind of like looking in the cupboards and try to find it. Like, where is that part of me? So there is definitely some discombobulation that happened around that. Just exhale that. So when you first started talking, I saw that same circle as I just spoke about around. It's like the campfire circle, the circle of isolation. And yeah, I see that dynamic of you being a little oil and water with people. And the words that want to come from you, I just keep hearing the words, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry I maybe misstepped, or I'm sorry I said the wrong thing. There's a lot of the two emotions I see are anger and resentment, and some sorrow and remorse. So I'm just looking at that. And by the way, anything I see, I set the intention to clear it on the spot. So just allow me to clear this vibration, those fields. I'm going to suggest you do some anger clearing work. I don't want to take the time to explain a few processes, but you could look online and you could find some anger clearing processes. There's in my workbook, I have a workbook. There's a great one. But this is really affecting your upper chest and your lower throat area. And it's actually putting a wall around your heart, kind of like a barrier around your heart, because the anger is creating this smoke shield. And this is specifically around men and your mother. So I'm just going to clear some of that energy right now. I hear this voice like, he did this. So blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like, let's just clear that. We don't even need to know the story. Let's just clear it. Okay. I'm going to put my hand on your heart, and I just want you to feel, this is everybody on the call. I just want you to feel my hand on your heart. because what's underneath your heart is a well of sadness and tears. You are due for a very good cry because you've been trying so hard to hold it all together. Stop, like, it's like really around your shoulders. It's like this holding it all together. Perfectionism, feeling like a failure, and trying to convince the world that you're not. Just let that go. Exhale. Release that out of the exhales. Everybody, just inhale and exhale everything I just said. Any of that vibration you're feeling, let it go. Okay. You might be a good one to watch a really sad movie tonight because we've already kind of stirred the flame here. And so it's percolating. And so you have to take it to the next step, unfortunately, to kind of release the tears and surrender a little bit more. And the antidote that I'm going to bring into you is surrender and love. Those are the two energies that will, help with all the other ones I talked about. Yeah, you need to go further into hopelessness. And then at the very end of the tears, the very end of that feeling, like when you start to cry, go all the way in till you feel the full helplessness. And then when you get out there, I want you to see the light. And this is the light of hope. Okay. And whatever images you get with that visual, just write them down, hold them in your heart, and then lean into that. And then after that, you'll start to have clarity about what you need to do in this situation. So I'm going to just wrap it up now and let's all just send Megan so much love right now into her heart. This is a very tough time. Just sending it in like a rain shower into your heart, into your body. Sending it all the way in. And you're doing a really good job at receiving it. Good job, good job, good job. Just one more moment, take it in. And with that, we are complete, Megan, with your healing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm leaving here with so much gratitude for all of you doing the work and like being here, being present. And I'm giving you a big, big hug. Let's all give everybody a group hug. And my last words of wisdom for you is you really do have all the information you need inside of you.